co-host so I can share my screen.
Yes, I think I have made you co-host, Sonia.
You already have. You already have. Yes. Uh-huh.
Perfect.
All
Hi
right.
everybody. Welcome
Oh, hang
to
on. I just
Monday
realized.
night training. Very excited for tonight's training because we've got Sonia that's going to be leading us, which will be amazing. For anybody who doesn't know me, my name's Liko Inkersell and I live in Oamaru in New Zealand, and I've been with LifeVantage for 6 years now, I think. Gosh, yeah, 2020. So yeah, over 6 years. Um, I have been little bit quiet of late, just with some life stuff, and lost a beautiful family member earlier on in the year. So I'm really excited for tonight's training with Sonia. But just before we begin, has anybody got any wins that they'd like to share? If nobody has any, I'm going to share one that I had on the weekend, and it was a huge compliment from my father, who is 85, and I often go down and support my mum and dad who are elderly. And my dad said to me many years ago, my dad said to me, "Oh, is there any side effects to these activation products?" And I said, "Well, I said a lot of people who take them end up with more energy." Anyway, on the weekend, he said to me, I think I was down there for 2 nights and 3 days. I was doing wood, cooking. Anybody who's got elderly parents will know exactly what I'm talking about. And then on the last day, I was in the garden. I was about to mow lawns, and then anyway, and he said, He said, you know what the problem is with you? And I said, "Oh, what's that, Dad?" He goes, "You've got too much energy." And I laughed and I thought, well, that's those activation products that you were wondering what the side effects were, all those years ago. So, yeah, I think definitely I can attribute a lot to that. So that was definitely a win for me this week. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce Sonia. So I'm really excited to introduce Sonia because she has the ability to motivate people to break through the blocks that are holding them back. And this is her what she does in her day-to-day job. And what I have loved seeing is Sonia bring everything that she does in her day-to-day, work and business, bring that into her Life Vantage business. And she is what I love about her is she doesn't have any fear. She doesn't hold back. She doesn't care what other people think, or if she does, she certainly doesn't show it. She shares, and because she's passionate, she's had results herself, and she's just passionate about sharing these products with others because she wants others to experience the same benefits that she's had. And I know she's super passionate about helping all of us also succeed and do well in our Life Vantage business as well. So, thank you, Sonia, for joining us tonight and for hosting this training. I'm excited, so I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Liko. Thank you for the introduction. I'm just going to share my screen. I actually did a PowerPoint, and it's quite funny because I said to Josie, I don't do PowerPoints, Josie, so don't expect one. But here we are today. I did one. I just went into an old presentation I did on I did a program a few years ago called Creating Confidence. And I just went to week one of that program and I looked at the slides and I went, this is so applicable to us and what we are doing here in Life Vantage. Now, I know some of you have been in this business a long time, the Licos, the Lisas, etc., Julie and Josie, and some of you are new. It doesn't matter where you are on this spectrum. When I was putting this together, I thought, right, everything that I teach here is relevant, not just to Life Vantage, but to your entire life. It's what I am going to teach. If you feel like you are just absolutely creaming it in Life Vantage and you don't need any help in that area, but there could be something going on in your relationships, or you may be having some money challenges, or you're having health challenges, or anything in between, these principles that I'm going to take you through tonight and take you through a process to work through some of these aspects to what blocks us from taking, like breaking the glass ceiling, will help you. And if you're someone in Life Vantage who's watching the replay and you freak out at the idea of sharing and you're just about all of that and you get into your head and your ego, I get it. I was once that person. I started a business over 10 years ago. You know, I had a great paying teacher's job, leading teacher. I went to work 9 to 5. I got paid well. I was, you know, it was comfortable in the sense that I always knew where my money was coming from, but it was not enough to serve my soul. And I'm going to make the assumption that every single one of you here in this business is here because you totally believe in what we have. And this call, and I could see Julie nodding away there, this call is about cementing that, but helping you identify what is unconsciously blocking you from hitting that next glass ceiling expansion. Because we think we want the thing until we find out that getting what we want actually doesn't feel good in our bodies. It doesn't feel good in our nervous systems. And so we block ourselves from actually hitting that next level. So I'm going to do a little bit of talk about the why and then do a process to help release what might be held in your body. I've been doing this work for so long now that for me, I default to this straight away because I'll tell you something. I did a business training once. I hired a business coach and I did her 6-month program. And over half the people in her program were with a NAGIC. Now, who's heard of a NAGIC? Yeah, we all know a NAGIC. And this training, which was meant to be business coaching, ended up being a coaching for all the women who had signed up to that business who were getting in their own way with creating and building their empires. And I sat in that training going, my gosh, they didn't need a training with a business coach. They actually needed a training with someone who could help them get out of their own way. And so this, to me, what we are going to do tonight is the fundamentals to growing a successful business in Life Vantage. Because without this, you'll just always come up against the next level, the next glass ceiling. There's the practice piece, you know, the books we read that Tara talked about on Saturday. There is the embedding into your psyche, the knowledge of the products. There is the, you know, deciding how you want to create the business. But what I'm going to share with you, if this isn't part of your who you're becoming in order to create the success, you'll keep falling short. So I've just got to move some things here because I want to be able to see what I'm teaching to. So how to expand your business by changing your internal landscape. I just want you to quickly think about your business and where it is right now. And when you think about where your business is right now, like I said, we're all at different stages and ages and levels. What emotions, and I call them contracted emotions, but what emotions come up when you look at where your business is at right now? For example, are you judging where it's at right now? Are you frustrated? Are you feeling stuck? Are you agitated? Are you annoyed? Are you, hey, I'm actually doing really well. I'm actually doing okay. I'm pretty impressed with what I've done so far. No wrong or right, no judgment on the judging, right? We're not here to judge the judging. This is what keeps you stuck. Now, when things are not flowing, and just take a note of what you're feeling. Just want you to note that and notice what it feels like in your body. Now, I am a somatic coach. What that means is I change people's psychology by changing their emotional state. We tend to think of let's change the thoughts and that changes the feelings. But truly, it's your nervous system that is leading your thinking. And this is the fourth wave of therapy that we're in. Work on the body, work on the emotions, shift them, and your thinking will change, will follow suit. And I think of it like this. Even though this feels like it's responsible and in charge, it's actually your entire emotional landscape that's running the show. Now, I want you to think about this. I invite you to think about this. What happens to your behavior when you start to judge, feel contracted, feel frustrated, annoyed, you're discontent with where you're at in your business right now? What happens to your behavior? Do you try to work harder? Do you force more outcomes? Do you go into a freeze response? Do you go into overwhelm? Do you procrastinate? Do you overthink? So you've got the emotion and then you've got the behavior. Some people will go out there and try even harder, and there's a sense of desperation, and they're, attaching to what they're making it mean if someone doesn't say yes. Because that was my next question. What do you make it mean about yourself when the business isn't flowing and you get a no? What do you make it mean about yourself when your business isn't flowing and you get a no? So this is the typical sequence I would see. Uh, right. So Christy said, yeah, she feels deflated, not hitting her July targets with sales. Procrastination is the biggest challenge. I hear you, Sue, fellow procrastinator here. I'm going to teach you a way to get out of that. The energy has to lead, and feeling deflated. You definitely procrastinate and we deflate, right? Can we all, for a moment here, every lady and gent watching this, place your hands on your heart, please. I invite you in this moment, and this is going to challenge a lot of you, to just soften the edges around how you speak to yourself when it's not flowing. It goes against our entire programming, our entire, even from a Christian faith perspective, or from our parents, or from society, or from a spiritual perspective. We are told day in and day out, relentlessly, that if we're not performing and we're not achieving and we're not hitting targets and we're not constantly doing and we're not constantly pushing, that we are not enough. Our entire value and worth, especially as women, is attached to that perception that I must be seen to be doing and succeeding in order to feel like I am enough. And so I invite you to just pause for a minute and imagine that if you were the friend of someone who was sitting there right now going, I am not good enough, I'm procrastinating, I feel deflated, I'm failing, I'm not achieving what I want, what would you say or feel towards that person? What would you say to them in that moment? Babe, hey, hun, go easy on yourself. It's great that you care. Be kinder to who you are. Be more self-compassionate. Write that down. Self-compassion. And it goes, oh, how beautiful, Tina. It goes against our entire nature to actually be kinder to ourselves when we perceive ourselves as not doing as well as we could. And if you understand the mechanics, the science behind emotions, which is my work, the foundations of everything I teach, you will understand that the worse you feel, the worse it gets. That the harder you are on yourself, the less likely you are to succeed. And the next slide I'm about to share with you. So I invite you to make a deal with yourself from this day on that when I catch myself being hard on myself, I'm just going to find a phrase or a word that I can say to myself that softens the judgment piece. Because it all comes down to emotional energy. You look at Josie and how she operates. She doesn't give herself space for doubt. She puts herself out there and lives in this energy all the time of, I'm just going to get it done, right? Not everyone has the Josie energy, and that's okay. Josie's been in the game for a very long time. She understands it all. Yet when we can learn to recalibrate our nervous systems and make ourselves believe and feel successful first, then the success will come. We think and we believe that I will feel good when ... insert the outcome. Once I have this many signups, then I will celebrate. And I sat in a training on Saturday with a wealth coach who is a millionaire who lives in my home city, who earns ridiculously good money. And she said, and I understand this, but I don't embody it myself as well as I could. And that's okay because I'm learning that We have to be the woman with the successful business before it shows up in our reality. This is quantum physics and science I'm teaching you today. We have to act like we're going to diamond quadruple and we're going to have an MC2, 3 and above ranking. And we act like the person that's already there. Because if you read any book, The Habits of High Performance Habits by what's his name? Brenda Burchard, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, The Atomic Habits by James Clear, you will find the number one principle that they will teach in the first part of their processes to become highly successful people is this: begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. Be the person and work consistently to embody the energy. And when I say energy, I mean the emotional state of the person that is already achieving it. Because that's when everything shifts. That's when you find your inspiration. Motivation is a load of rubbish. Every single one of us tries to motivate ourselves from a deficit. Not good enough, need to work harder, need to force myself, needs to push, need to strive, need to prove. And it's not working, because if you could berate yourself into success, we would all be sitting in an EC role right now. We would be there. But if it worked, we would do it. So now we have to change our entire thinking and feeling into, how do I act like the person that has the rank that I want already? Because there are 12 laws of the universe and they are working in your favor every single day when you understand them. The law of reciprocity, the law of oneness, the law of cause and effect, the law of kindness, the law of attraction. These are all laws that come to you through how you are showing up as the business owner. And there will be days where it feels too hard. And there will be days where you don't feel like doing it. And guess what? On those days, you don't have to do it. Because wouldn't it be better to be taking inspired action in bursts that's fully embodied from the place of this feels good? That's how I run my business. I could go a week and not even do a single thing in LifeVantage. Not a single thing. I promise you. And then I've got a week where I am on. And as women, we are cyclic. And in that week, I could create more business, more success, and more momentum than I could if I spent 4 weeks struggling, pushing, and trying to force the outcome. And this is the energetics of successful business ownership. Being in the emotional state of the person that knows it's going to happen regardless. And I'm going to take you through a process which will uncover your blocks to knowing that that is how it gets to be for you. So it's easy to identify where you're at and where you don't want to be, but where do you want to be? Write down right now your rank that you want to get to. I hit MC1 3 months ago. I haven't been back there since. It's okay. It's not the season. It will happen. Diamond, that's becoming a regular occurrence for me now. Yet I don't judge where I'm at. I always go exactly where I am. And then I go, how can I shift back into the emotional frequency of the person who has the successful business? That's what you ask yourself. Am I being the woman that is acting like I and the men that has got this business? And even if you look at the way Brendan coaches, he's got very masculine energy, right? Well, a lot of women have masculine energy, but we actually don't have masculine capacity to go, 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 go. And yet, if you look at the way he thinks and acts, he's the successful person already. The Taras of the world, the Courtneys, they're already there. They already act and think like that. So here's what we're going to do. This is the clincher. This is the part that no one really coaches or teaches, that when I discovered this in my work a few years ago, it totally transformed what happens in my clients' world. So the courage to grow your business requires you to boldly face change. And I've already talked about you cannot motivate yourself while feeling simultaneously bad, afraid, guilty, judgmental, or embarrassed. You need to start working towards, not away from motivation, which is all the things I've just mentioned, but towards what will inspire me. And here is a piece that people, I'm about to go to the next slide where we're going to actually do some hands-on processes. When you go, contracted emotions, these are the contracted emotions: shame, guilt, fear, stress, sadness, grief, anger, frustration, apathy, pride, and desire. Now, when you are in contracted emotions, your being contracts, your behavior contracts. When you're in expanded emotions, your expanded emotions, the first one is courage and vulnerability. So the vulnerability to show up online or run an event and talk about this. Courage. Courage is the first expanded emotion. Acceptance, willingness, being neutral, neutralizing how someone responds to your invitation. I'm about to talk to that in the next few slides. Being okay with hearing no, expecting no. I don't care, you say no, that's great. You'll come back. You'll come back. People do, they come back. So when you are feeling frustrated and contracted emotions, I invite you to stop what you're doing in your Life Vantage business or any other area of your life, take a breath and detach. Just let it go for a minute, a day, half a day. Go do something fun, shift your emotional state, be playful, be joyful, be creative. Because then when you go back into that energy, then your content, your conversations, and your conversions are going to come with that energy. Does that make sense? But what we do is we tend to grasp harder, control more, double down, crunch the numbers, get fearful, when actually our entire nature and being isn't taught to go, just let it go, let it go, let it go. Take a breath, walk away. What could I do to shift my energetic state right now? Go for a walk, listen to some music, a 5-minute dance break in your kitchen. It's incredible what happens. Last month, I signed up 10, 11 new customers and I did less in the business, but all I did was focus on the energy of, I'm just going to act like I'm getting lots of customers this month. It's literally what I did. I had people signing up. Okay, what is going on here? This is how powerful your energy is. That's the law of oneness. What you feel is going out. And that's a whole nother lesson for another time. And I know I'm getting into the esoteric quantum physics behind it all, but it freaking works. It works. It works. I've been doing this work for years. I've worked on people's seeing people's lives in hospitals saved by understanding the mechanics of the energy. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to shift the contraction you feel with the blocks in your business. So I invite you to close your eyes down and go back into, if you don't want to focus on the business because you think you're thriving at the moment and it's all tickety boo, you're great to go. Go into an emotion that you feel in an area of your life, whether it be LV or something else, where things just aren't flowing the way that you would like. And notice the feeling, give the feeling a name. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And now invite yourself to notice where in your body you feel the emotion, the emotion, the energy and motion of that feeling, of that emotion. Where is it sitting in your body? So for instance, if it's imagine going out there and just having conversations with random people. Oh, I've got something for you that could work for that. Imagine going into the area of your business that would freak you out. For me personally, it would probably be a one-to-one conversation with someone who I look up to. They're asking me about activation. But just notice the contraction in your body. Now, if that emotion had a purpose, I'll invite you to think about what might the purpose be. I'll give you an example. Frustration serves the purpose to keep you motivated. Fear serves the purpose to protect you, cause you to persevere, keep pushing through, or prepare in case something goes wrong. So that's what fear's purpose is. Guilt is the purpose of helping you not make mistakes. Stress serves the purpose of keeping you focused on the problem so you can try and solve it. But just notice what the purpose could be. That could create some challenge. But the part I want to release today is not actually the emotions of frustration, fear, sadness, overwhelm, judgment, but this. I'm going to invite you to notice what happens in your family, in your body when I say this to you. Let it go. Some of you might instantly feel relaxed. Yet this is what I see in most and pretty 99% of my clients. It's time to stop using these emotions, let them go, and notice what the resistance in your body is to no longer having all these emotions that have served a purpose for so long. And if anyone wants to share in the chat what came up, what is the resistance you feel in your body when I say, let it go? Let it go. Do you get resistance coming up? Some of you have ease. Good. That's your truth. When you feel ease at the idea of letting this go, that is truth. But if you feel, no, what will I do if I don't have this? Because here's the thing, we've tied so much of our doing to the deficit emotions, to the contracted emotions, that what am I? We have this belief that we can't get what we want if we're not trying to work for it and force it and push it and strive for it. So Liko feels relieved. Liko, that's truth. So Liko, since you feel relieved at letting it go back into any resistance any emotion that you felt in the judgment of where you're at right now, frustration, overwhelm, stress. Tap on that. I'm going to take everyone through the process of emotional freedom technique. We've only got a few minutes left, but you'll be amazed what can happen. Yes, good, Susan. Great. So can you see that you are being shown instantaneously what is available to you when you just give yourself the opportunity to let it go? There is a phenomenal book. If you were to ask me the book that I would read to expand my life and my business, Letting Go by Dr. David Hawkins. Letting Go by Dr. David Hawkins. I'll write it in the chat. It is the power of surrender. That's what I talked about before when I said just lean back, stop forcing it. It's not going to work. The energy is misaligned, the emotional state. Successful, abundant, thriving individuals feel it first. And this book, Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender, will teach you that. My favorite book of all time. So let's tap on the energy. Tapping is basically Chinese acupuncture with fingertips instead of needles. We're shifting chi through the body, shifting energy, shifting blockages, clearing out stagnant thinking, bringing in opportunities for clarity because our body's not holding on to resistance and stress. So think about something that you want to clear today. Start tapping on the side of your hand. Most of you have tapped with me before, I think, from my last, the Breakthrough the Barriers training. Close your eyes down and tune into the feeling that you felt around resistance, around fear, around judgment. Notice where you feel it in your body. Notice any resistance to letting it go. Give it a score out of 10 when it's at its maximum, when you're really in the thick of it. Give it a score out of 10. Hope everyone doesn't mind if we just go a couple of minutes over, 3 or 4 minutes over. Just tap and say, even though, right, and just repeat this out loud, even though right now I have all of this emotion in my body, it's causing me to feel tension and stress. I choose to let this feeling go. It no longer serves me. I thank it for trying to help. I choose to release this now. It is safe to let it go. I love and accept myself. Even though I have this feeling in my body, this tension and stress, this frustration and agitation, this judgment, I'm choosing to release it because it no longer works. I'm giving myself permission to feel good so that it's about the journey, not the destination. I'm looking forward to making this more joyful. I'm learning to love and accept myself. Top of the head. This feeling of frustration, this judgment and tension between the eyebrows and the crease of the eye. I get overwhelmed and stressed at times. Under the eye. I have a plan of what I want to achieve. Under the nose. And when it hasn't been achieved, on the chin, instead of trusting the process, collarbone, I get annoyed and frustrated. Under the armpit. Instead of doing this from now on, top of the head, I give myself permission between the eyebrows to let this go. Side of the eye. I choose to have fun along the way. Under the eye. I stop making it mean I'm not succeeding. Under the nose, just because I'm not where I want to be. On the chin. Frustration is not my friend. Collarbone. Judgment is blocking my joy. Under the arm. Agitation and anxiety. Top of the head. They do not inspire me. Between the eyebrows. I'm letting go of the need to force the outcome. Side of the eye. I'm looking to believe in my own potential. Under the eye. I release all the resistance. Under the nose. I discharge this feeling in my body. On the chin. I remind myself that my energy attracts what I want. Collarbone. Nobody has what we have in this business. Under the arm. And that's the energy I bring to this work. Top of the head. I'm going to stop blocking my success. Between the eyebrows by constantly judging where I'm at right now. Side of the eye. Most of my best customers haven't even heard about this yet. Under the eye. So I'm going to keep showing up with purpose and belief. Under the nose, because that is magnetic. On the chin, I choose to let go of all stress and overwhelm. Collarbone, I let go of fear and tension. Under the arm, I lead with my heart, not my head. Top of the head, all is well. All right, take a deep breath in. Ah, and shake and sigh. Just shake and sigh 3 times. Ah, 3 sigh breaths is the greatest thing for shifting energy instantly. Ah. All right, so that tapping process, save this video, go back, reuse it. What, here is an anchoring question. We're just going to finish with this because I know I've run over time. Here is the anchoring thing to ask yourself when you are creating. There's a whole another aspect of this that I didn't even talk about, but I just want to say this. If you were to think about creating your successful business and it was a given, how would you choose to show up today? So, this is what I ask myself all the time when I feel myself getting stuck and I go from my heart to my head. I go, what does the version of me, write this down, what does the version of me, what does the version of me that knows that everything is working out for her greater good, that knows that everything is working out for her greater good, that knows that everything is working out for her greater good. Choose to act and feel in this moment. Choose to act and feel in this moment. A quicker way to say it is if I knew everything was working out, how would I choose to feel right now? If I knew that everything was working out, how would I choose to feel right now? If I knew that everything was working out for my greater good, how would I choose to feel in this moment? And that is the state that you turn yourself back around and you bring it back into. Because you look at 2 years from now, when you look back and you see yourself frustrated and agitated and annoyed, you'll go, oh my gosh, what was I doing that for? That's not working. Is that what I want to see from myself? No, I want to see the joyful, enjoying it. Like if we're not, the joy of business is very important. I'm going to stop there because I've gone on, but the joy of this business, the joy of creation, you have permission to create posts that are fun, that are silly, that are jovial, that are, doesn't have to be serious. I'm actually about to go and embark on a whole series of posts about LV, and my one rule is they have to be fun and they have to be playful. And I'm keeping that in mind. And if it's not that path, I won't create it. It's just the intention that I've set for myself. I know I ran over. Thanks for your patience, everyone. There's so much I could talk to about this. So yeah, just I'll download the PDF of the slide presentation and I'll put it in the chat. How are we all feeling? Hopefully everyone's energy's shifted a little bit.
That was
Awesome.
incredible, Sonia.
Thank you. Great work, everyone. Yep. Go and get an image of yourself standing on stage at an LV conference. Go get pictures from this year's LV conference, and go and AI yourself into the photos and put it in your vision board.
Great
Awesome.
idea.
See you all later. See you in the chat. Have a great week, everyone. Go out there, just do it. Mwah. Catch you soon. Bye.
Thanks heaps, Sonia. Really appreciate you and giving up your evening and your time and just, yeah, coming on to inspire us all and help us to break through some of those ceilings. I'll stop the recording.